What's up, YouTube? I'm back at you with the first video on our road to greatness, man. You know, y'all about to see me now just get so much better. I'm still in barber school, but let's get on with the cut. Man, first, this cut is a high blurry temp fade. Man, I'm a little brother, you know. I think he went to state. I was cutting him because he's going to state for basketball. I'm proud of him. But yeah, the first thing y'all want to do is brush and comb the hair out. You see them getting it good so I can see the direction of it. You know, this is an easy cut right here. Ain't nothing really too hard about it. Let's get into it. First thing I'm going to do is make my bald line or my Babyliss FX trimmer. These are chameleons. They don't look the best because they've been through, you know, hell and back. And I'm a girl. But anyway, I was playing. But yeah, I'm making the bald line. Then, all right, so now I'm turning the trimmers over, and I'm just bumping a little bit, maybe barely tapping it just to soften up the bald line. The reason I do this so it'll be easier to take out, and it can also make sure that's more even like that. Because you got some zero gap trimmers to make it hard to take out. But now I got my magic clip with no guard all the way open, going up probably about half an inch. I'd say probably about quarter of an inch. I'm going to keep going over multiple times. I'm going to brush it because once I see what direction the hair go in, I go against it to make sure you get it down to the lower desired length that I want it to be at. And right now, I got the lever probably about halfway open, going against it, or 3/4, probably 3/4. And the reason I do this for, I go all the way up to it, because, I mean, you don't get rid of that anyway. So just kind of shorter step a little bit. And then this is how I really get got the bald line out. Because if you do it closed first, don't get it out of the way. This just kind of soften it up for that close. And I go over multiple times. Now I got it all the way close. You can see I'm just flicking out, trying to get that line out. You know, I start below the line and come to it and go just a little bit past it. If you stop at the line, it ain't gonna really come out. All right, so now I got my 1.5 guard closed. I got to fast forward because I really went over it a lot of times. I go over it a lot of times just because I want it to be at that level. Like, I don't want it to be uneven the inside because that really mess up when you try to do your next level. And I'm going all the way up because it's probably about the highest guard I know I'm going to need. So right now I got my half guard probably, I'd say about 1/4 open. So 1/4 way open. And I'm going up about 1/4 of an inch. And you can really fade nicely into that 1.5 once you know what you're doing. The reason I don't start with a 1 guard is because if I was to use a 1 guard, I was gonna have to come behind it with a half guard anyway. And once you find like the sweet touch, the sweet spot with your lever, and really get used to your clippers, it'll be easy to do it like that. Like, I'm skipping a whole step by doing this. And I got it probably now about halfway open, just going against the hair direction. You know, you can tell it's starting to blend out nicely. Make sure you get the back using the full blade in my corners. Sometimes you got to mix it up. You can't just use one. And you can see right there, I got it all the way closed. You know, just try to get any dark spots out. I know it's not going to get the line all the way out. It's going to do it mostly. But you see how the blend coming in. I don't like my face to be bald. I don't like it to be too dark. You know, I like it to have a nice, you know, cool blend to it. So right now, I got my 1 guard all the way closed. That's going to help blend in perfectly with the 1.5 guard closed. And you can see I'm not going all the way up. I'm going like kind of under it so it can blend in. And I'm making sure that I do full strokes, because if you do them choppy strokes, that's how you're going to have a choppy fade. So you see I'm brushing it like you always got to do. And it look like I'm using the full blade, but I'm using my corner right there. I'm taking my time, making sure that, you know, you don't want to do too much to a fade. That's how you mess it up. But right now, I got my no guard open. And this what make a barber good. Most barbers, like, they'll put the guards on. And this is the detail work that take the fade to the next blend. I'm telling you. It may take a little more time. But, I mean, getting on the dark spots out just make the fade look so much better. Because, I mean, you can notice it. When you're a barber or you know something about hair, because you notice all the little dark spots, like, oh, they could have did this better. So this is really set the fade different from everybody else's fade. Regardless if you do the same steps or what, detailing gonna always take their haircut to another level. I could have probably said I'm done with it, but nah, I'm gonna go over it, you know, make sure that everything fading each other seamlessly, because that's how I want it. I want a nice blended fade. I don't want no half-ass choppy stuff. And right now, I can say this too, that the lower you are on the fade, the more closed you want the clipper to be. So as I go down, have it, you know, more closed, because it's lighter down there towards going up to the fade. I'm gonna have it more open because I don't want to take off too much. Now I can still see that line, so I kind of got about a quarter of an inch. I'm just gonna attack the line so I get it out. Because most of the time with the guard anyway, you really can't get that line out. I mean, it's hard to do that with just the guard. So you really got to detail. You don't want nobody walking around here with no damn line and they fade. But I skipped the other side because it's the same thing, same steps. So now I'm doing the back, and it's basically gonna be the same step as the sides. It's just maybe a little difference. But I'm making my bald line, want to be straight. Look at me losing my left hand. I am expeditious, whatever it's called. I'm both-handed, so I can cut both hands, which come in handy. But anyway, going over, want the ball line to be nice and neat. Turn the clipper over, get all that extra hair. Make sure you always do that. Don't never leave no hair on the client's head. And I get every piece of hair that I can. Doing the little things take you a long way. Smooth neck. Got my nigga Rico right there. But anyway, so make sure I get that clean. Then I'm gonna call my no guard open. That's how I'm go. This is probably about a full inch. On the back, I do my guidelines bigger because there's a lot more room. If you make small guidelines, you don't want to have no tight blend. I like it to be. I like mine to be, where you can see it. So I go over the guideline. These right here, I do full strokes and I do little choppy strokes. Not choppy, but smaller strokes. But you can see, I always try to do full strokes. Now, I'm gonna keep going over in the direction the hair go, because I want to make sure that all the hair is on one level. So now I'm gonna put my no guard, probably about 3/4 closed. Then I'm just gonna keep doing what I was doing, flicking out. This is how I get my line out. Same way as the other one. Keep doing that, both sides. Then I'm gonna close it all the way, flick that line out. The bottom part already done. And then next, I'm gonna come in with my 1 1/2 guard all the way closed. Same thing on the side. All I'm doing this now, I'm making it to where I can see the fade. If you got all that hair and stuff up there, it make it hard to see what you're doing. You go onto the blind. So I got it. This is basically how I want it to top the look. Then I'm just gonna blend into that. Go over it multiple times. I want it all to be even. So next step is I got my half guard. Halfway. I say probably about halfway. Just going up probably a quarter of an inch, blending in, not going too high because you don't want it to fade. You want transition. That's what this is. When you blend into something, it makes it easier to see the transition instead of just going up with the half, then going up with it. I just like to make it easier like that. See, the top part already done. I just got to do the middle part, then transition that to the top. But yeah, so I got it fast forward a little bit because it's the same steps, and just look. Flicking to it, taking my time, try to get all dark spots gone. That's what I want, all dark spots gone. And then I turn, should have been turned to like that. I'm still getting used to, holding the camera and know how to set it up. But you can see that blend coming in. Still got some dark spots you got to get out. Got the no guard. I say probably about maybe halfway. Just it's different for people. Like I detail a lot, so it's pretty much easier for me to do it compared to when you're starting out. Even though I'm still in school and stuff, detailing, that's my bread and butter. Right now I got my 1 guard all the way closed, going up in there, blending it into the 1 1/2 because you don't want to keep it like that. But you see I ain't going all the way up, just blending it so it can all fall down. Keep doing that, going in the direction of the hair. Make sure you brush so you can see what you cut but haven't been cut. No guard again, detailing that, just getting it right. I know how I want my fades to look. I don't want I want the fade good. So now I'm about to do the neckline. I'm just pulling the hair back so I can really see it. Brushing it down. So now, I like to use, I like to, do it softly first just to get like a pre-line. I start from the bottom instead of the top. Then I go back down. But you see, I keep moving the hair because you don't want to accidentally cut none of that when you get it out of the way. Usually I pin it, but, ain't really no big deal. So, using the corner of my blade to get through those little air pierce. Then I'm going to come around it, come back, and use the other side, get all that hair down. come down, and then I'm gonna redo my line, make sure it's even, get it as dark and crisp as possible. And that's one thing I still gotta work on is my neckline, just because I want to be more crisp. Can't have a hard fade, hard shape, but this neckline look pretty decent though, pretty straight. So doing the same thing on this side. I'm doing the same thing over here, so I'm just gonna fast forward. I like the way how these came out. I use the front end. So right now, bread and butter right now, the shape up. Now I use a comb to brush it down because when I heard thick, I use a comb just to get all the little naps and stuff out because you don't want your clips to go through and get tangled up because it hurt. So right now I got my magic clips with the one guard all the way open. I usually do it like halfway closed, but I want to keep it dark. I want the natural shape up. That's one thing I learned. If you do one close, it gets it down, but it just looks so light that it don't look good after enhancements, and that's not what my cuts look. So I learned that even though it's kind of easier to cut when it's like the one close, but anyway. So I start in the middle. Then I go to the right side because the right side is always the side that I ain't gonna say I had trouble with, but the one I was had to come back over. So I go to the right. Then I'm coming back to the middle. Clean up all the extra excess hair. Then I'm gonna go to the left, and this is just how I usually do it, right to left. You see, got it looking pretty good and crispy. I brush the hair. I go over the shape up multiple times. You really have to, just to make sure that you get it. Like, you got to brush their hair down multiple times because every time you brush, new hair there. I don't want my client to brush their hair, it's not as crispy as it was. So I go over the shape up a couple of times before I put on the enhancement just to get it right. You can see I'm going on that right side. And you see how I drag it down, but not too hard to scratch it. But, that's how you really get a nice, sharp, crispy line up. You can see the right side. It's not as much hair as in the middle. That's the reason I don't go close, because sometimes it be like light spots. So it's easy to see. As you can see in the middle, it's more darker. So it's more easy to see, but it's come towards my side, towards the left side, it's lighter. And look, I'm using that left hand right there with ease. Brushing that vertical bar down, getting it right. Not pushing it back, just tapping it and going, tapping and going. All you gotta do, tap and go. Ain't no need to go into it. Hey, see, just pulling it just to try to get it sharp. Then come back to the other side, boom, same thing. Same thing, putting a little curve in there. Because he love the curve. On this side, it's not gonna be as visible. So, but you still can see it. It's still gonna be in there though. Should have kind of left it darker that way, but I wasn't sure what I was gonna do yet. So that's why it's good to always see the haircut before you start. But right now I got the pivot by my boy LA, and I got my compressor. I love this thing. How you see I just fill it in naturally, like it fill it in so good. Then I come in with the I got brown and black enhancements mixed up, so it won't come out too dark. But I'm just filling in any light spots right there, just get a more darker look to it. Then I'm coming in with the trimmers, shaping it up. You don't want to leave it on there like that. Coming in with the trimmers, go over it multiple times, same way. Fix that vertical bar, get that more defined. It's not even the finishing. It's not even the finishing look. Look at it. It was looking straight beforehand, and then look at it, man. Like, this look good. Do the same thing on the other side. Wish I should have had the camera changed, but doing the same thing. And look at that fade. And you can see right now, this is somewhere, kind of not, I ain't gonna say finesse, but just to give it a better look. And I'm gonna raise it in too, but just so you can see it now, I ain't gonna say C cup, I call it a curve. Because a C cup kind of more like defined than that, but yeah, I go over it multiple times. Put something on that side too. And I told him to turn his head that way I can see and make sure that they even. Go over it one more time. Using that right hand, left side, and just putting it in there. And look at it, man. That thing beaming before anything else. Like, what you on, man? I want to make sure they even and stuff. So now I'm putting on the pencil that I borrowed from my boy Chris Dixon. I always borrow his stuff on a daily basis. I feel like he be stealing my shit too, but we ain't gonna speak on that. We still, we steal each other's shit. But make sure you want to put this on softly too at that. You don't want to put it on too hard because it make it very hard to get out regardless. So I put it on softly. Then I always start with my corners. I go to it, but I don't go all the way into it because you want to still be there. So I just push up with the trimmers, and also help me get the line up even more straighter. I even do it on the seat, on the curb too. Just press it up. So you want to blend it in, don't smear it in. You don't want to have it looking so thick. Even though it'll look okay like this, you could just really tell that, and like that, it's a pencil on there, and I don't want it to look like that. So I'm gonna take the other step, razor it in. But look how it's looking, So I put them down, and I always do it to all my clients. Like I said, another key, razoring, and I don't do the lazy razor. I lay them all the way down. This is what really take my haircut to the next level because it just make it look so much sharper. You want a sharp haircut. That's what you want. I do the whole hairline too. I go over it multiple times, go about a 30-degree angle, let it slide. One thing you got to work on is that razor work. And look at it. I'm like, golly. That thing just look good right there, Look at the fade, the way it just blend in. Now I'm doing, his little facial hair, which he really don't got none. But, I'm going to put a little line on there with that razor. I don't really use trimmers when it comes to beards. It's just a lot of hair. But you can see this how it's coming out. They ain't going to fade it a little. Put a little fade on there. I'm going to have it looking thick. Look at that line on there. Everything visible. I'm going to do the same thing on here. Start off with the back. I bent that boy face all the way back. Ooh, sometimes you got to do them like that. But look at it. You see that line on there? Do the same thing on one side, do it to the other. Come in my razor shape, try to get it clean, go over the neckline. And that's things that we do. So now I'm putting some oil sheen in his hair, and then hit it, with the napper brush. So this is the final look of the cut. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. The videos gonna get better, cuts gonna get better. But make sure y'all sub, make sure you subscribe, comment on it, man. If this video was helpful, plenty more coming out. And I appreciate all the support. No bite, okay?